What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for popping into my review for the highly anticipated third film in the series. It's Avatar Fire and Ash. James Cameron, after taking a very long time between the first and second film, 3 years later, we have the third film. And speaking of those first two movies, I do own them on their 4K steelbooks, and I love these movies. I think The Way of Water, even after Fire and Ash, is my favorite film of the series. The first film is then second place, and then Fire and Ash being third place. I think the first two films are excellent. This film is great, but it's not excellent. There's a few flaws, but what the story of Fire and Ash is, well, it takes place almost immediately after the events of The Way of Water. Neytiri and Jake Sully are grieving the death of their son, Nateum. And then you have Miles Quaritch returning. You have Stephen Lang coming back, and he's got to regroup after being rescued at the end of the second film. He's back out to get Jake Sully. And I think that's going to be the main issue for a lot of people, is the plot is a little familiar. So I really liked Quaritch in this film, and eventually the introduction of Varang and the Ash people. I think that she is horrifying. And the way that she emotes and performs was just like, wow, like I'm just watching something kind of different, kind of special. This performance feels really special. I wish that Cameron did a little more with her, though. I think her character is slightly overshadowed in the film a couple of times. She probably should have been a little more prominent. But I loved her introduction, and the movie does fly by. At over 3 hours long, it's only 5 minutes longer than the second movie. I didn't get up to pee once, and I'm proud of myself for that. I was invested, I was entertained, and I liked the story progression. I just wish that Cameron took a few more risks. He played it kind of safe, I think, with the film. But also, there's some insane things that happen at the end of this movie, which I won't spoil. But it's like Cameron giving a nod to films of his past, or one film in his past particular. And I'm not going to get into that, but there's just that little sequence at the end of the movie that I was just like, wow. And I kind of dug it. I don't know. I like the film a lot. Sure, it's a little repetitive. I think that when they use James Horner's beautiful Avatar themes in this movie, it works really well. Unfortunately, between the releases of the first and second film, composer James Horner died in a plane crash, which he was piloting himself. You know how Tom Cruise and Harrison Ford, they go out on these planes and they pilot them? Well, James Horner, unfortunately, had a very bad accident that he didn't survive. And they got a new composer, and they're using the James Horner themes. And I love that theme. When I watch the first movie, you can tell that the score is just better. Even than the score in The Way of Water, the score in this, James Horner will always be remembered. But I think all the performances in this one are maybe the strongest they've ever been. Neytiri, Zoe Saldana, she is grieving badly in this film. She is having a hard time. And Cameron really puts that character through the ringer. I love what they were doing with her. I thought Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, this is the role he's embraced. And, I just love his character. Stephen Lang is also fantastic. But I think the two biggest surprises of the film for me are Loak and Spider. Spider, the first time I saw the second movie, I wasn't too impressed by him. I've kind of grown to like him over the times I've rewatched the film. Loak, I've always liked him, but the arc, I was always curious by the end of that second film, well, how are they going to handle him in this? And he's so independent in this movie. Thought Loak was great, and I thought Sigourney Weaver was also wonderful. And there's some really interesting stuff that happens with certain characters in this film that people might be like, okay, that's just too much for me. I like it. I think, okay, Cameron's really diving into some sci-fi roots with this movie, and I was into it. I don't know. And the 3D obviously was stunning. I saw an XD 3D. The visuals in this movie, some of the best visuals that you're going to see. It's breathtaking. Cameron should probably be nominated for Best Director for this movie. He wasn't nominated for Best Director for the sequel, but he was for the original. Hopefully, he'll get in for this, because what he was able to accomplish with this movie, and he is filmmaking at just another level. So I really appreciated this film, and I'm going to give it a strong 4 out of 5 stars. I think the movie's really good. I don't know if it's going to get into Best Picture. We'll see. I did like this more than I liked Wicked for Good. We'll see how that all pans out. But what's your thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash, guys? Comment down below. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button for other reviews of this week's new releases, The Housemaid and the SpongeBob movie, up on the channel right now. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72, and that's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Avatar Fire and Ash. And until next time, over and out.